Seize him.
Today we're talking about one of Game of Thrones' most unforgettable villains, Cersei Lannister. Her death on the show was, shall we say, a little divisive. A lot of people thought she deserved something different, something that matched her cruelty. But what if I told you there's more to her story? What if the show's ending wasn't the only ending? Let's talk more about it. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
And have you bled yet? In your dress, did you make it?
Cersei's on-screen fate. The Red Keep's collapse. Cersei Lannister's rule and life ended horribly in The Bells, the second-to-last episode of Game of Thrones Season 8. The capital, a place she swore to keep safe, became her grave. For many years, Cersei stayed in the strong Red Keep. Sure, its old walls and guard would protect her. When Daenerys, riding Drogon, burned the city without mercy, ignoring surrender and giving in to madness, the Red Keep began to crumble. Cersei first refused to believe it. However, soon enough, her disbelief disappeared. Replaced by terror, she changed from a queen into a scared mother who had lost it all. She didn't die in a grand win or a big fight. Instead, she died with her twin brother and lover, Jaime Lannister. Jaime, though he had gone north to fight ice zombies, returned to King's Landing. He found her in the castle's crypts, a spot she picked for safety, thinking it was the most secure place. There, in dust and falling stone, away from enemies, the Lannister twins held each other one last time. Cersei, completely broken, cried hard. She said, "I want our baby to live. Don't let them die, Jaime. Don't let me die." These words showed her soft side. Jaime, already dying, held her close, saying one last comforting thing. Nothing else matters. Only us. As the Red Keep's old walls fell, huge rocks crushed them both, ending their shared past, their forbidden love, and their family. Controversy around her ending. Cersei Lannister's final moments in Game of Thrones became one of the last season's most disliked scenes. Viewers and experts argued about it. She was a major villain for 8 years, known for her sharp mind, cruelty, and clever plans. Fans imagined certain ways she might die. Most hoped an enemy with a deep grudge would kill her. Arya Stark was a top choice for a planned revenge. Daenerys Targaryen, whose family Cersei helped ruin, and whose claim to the throne she fought, seemed a natural rival for a big fight. Tyrion Lannister was also a popular choice for justice. Most of us liked the idea of Cersei losing in an open fight. Instead, Cersei died in Jaime's arms, crushed by falling stones. Experts said it was rushed. They noted that years of carefully built stories were suddenly cut. Nikolai Coster-Waldau, who played Jaime, called the backlash annoying but understandable, given the challenge of pleasing everyone. Lena Headey, who portrayed Cersei, wished for a better death. Comparing her passing to other main bad characters, it felt very different. Joffrey Baratheon was poisoned at his own wedding, Ramsay Bolton was fed to his own dogs, and the Night King was quickly slain by Arya Stark. For a person who had actively caused the death and pain of countless others, this quiet end felt like a narrative shortcut. The deleted miscarriage scene. A crucial part of Cersei Lannister's story, cut from Season 7, was a scene showing her miscarriage. Lena Headey spoke about the scene. She said it would have been a traumatic and great moment for Cersei, changing how viewers saw her. Cersei would have lost Jaime's baby, and this sad event would have changed how people understood her feelings, and growing despair in the final season. In Seasons 7 and 8, Cersei's pregnancy seemed unclear. She first told Jaime she was expecting his child, but later hinted to Euron Greyjoy that he was the baby's father. This was a trick to get his loyalty and ships. The cut miscarriage scene would have confirmed her pregnancy was real. It would show her hope for a new child and a fresh beginning with Jaime. Having it in the show would have disproved ideas she faked it just to keep Jaime's loyalty or make new friends. Cersei already suffered losing Joffrey, Myrcella, and Tommen, so losing another baby would have pushed her closer to madness. Her final mental collapse would seem like more than just fear for herself. It would be the last terrible hit to her hope for a future, and to her core as a parent. Without this scene, people felt Cersei's pregnancy storyline added little to the plot. Without knowing the pregnancy was real and then lost, her announcement seemed like a trick, not true character growth. Book series. Unfinished and her fate diverges. In George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire book series, Cersei Lannister's story has not ended as it did in the TV show. In A Dance with Dragons, the 5th book, Cersei is alive. She's in a very risky and troubled state, and her situation is different from her TV depiction. Cersei has already suffered the shameful walk of atonement through King's Landing. She said she did bad things, like cheating, but she said no to the big crimes, like killing Robert and having her children through incest. After this public punishment, she must face a fight called a trial by combat. combat, a very old tradition in Westeros deciding if she's innocent or guilty. People trust that the gods will make the innocent person win the fight. Her chosen fighter is the huge, silent Sir Robert Strong. He's the reanimated body of Gregor Clegane, brought back by Qyburn's dark magic. Her opponent's champion has not yet been named, but it is expected to be a fighter from the Faith Militant. The many differences between the books and the show mean Cersei's final fate in the novels is a big topic for fans. One main theory concerns her coming trial. Some believe Sir Robert Strong will win due to his unnatural strength. This would clear Cersei and might let her regain some power, though her name would be forever tarnished. However, many think this victory would be empty, pulling her deeper into Qyburn's dark influence and losing her any remaining friends. If she loses the trial, she would likely be executed. A different theory involves Aegon Targaryen, who claims that he's the surviving son of Rhaegar Targaryen, arguing he was kept hidden in exile but has now returned to take the throne with the help of a large group of hired fighters known as the Golden Company. His presence changes the political scene, adding a new Targaryen claimant separate from Daenerys. Readers think Cersei will be overthrown by Aegon's forces, and this clash could be like the sad end of the Mad King Aerys Targaryen II. In that case, Cersei might burn King's Landing with hidden wildfire. This act of destruction might make Jaime Lannister, who killed Aerys to stop a similar disaster, become the Queen Slayer again to save the city and its people. This would fulfill parts of the Valonqar prophecy. Valonqar means little brother in High Valyrian, and the prophecy states that the Valonqar will choke the life of Cersei. Other guesses are that she won't die quickly. Instead, she might be killed by a character from her past, a person seeking revenge from Dorne, or a surprising betrayal. The book version of Cersei doesn't think ahead, and is constantly scared, unlike the TV character. She makes poor political choices that cause her own ruin. With the winds of winter and a dream of spring still coming, Cersei's book fate could have unexpected turns, and an end that differs from her dramatic and debated TV conclusion. Prophecy, and was it fulfilled? A prediction profoundly shaped Cersei Lannister's existence, defining her in George R.R. Martin's books. It's called the Valonqar Prophecy, and it came to her as a girl from Maggie the Frog, a woods witch. The TV show Game of Thrones showed a part of this vision in Season 5. However, it left out the most important detail: how Cersei herself would die. This removal changed how her persona was seen and how her final moment played out on screen. In the book's complete prophecy, Maggie the Frog told young Cersei dark things about her future. Maggie said Cersei would marry the ruler, not the prince she truly wanted. She also saw the ruler having 16 children, but Cersei would only have 3. This proved true. Robert had some illegitimate offspring throughout Westeros. Cersei, meanwhile, had just Joffrey, Myrcella, and Tommen. All 3, importantly, were meant for golden crowns and golden shrouds. This meant they would rule but die young. Joffrey poisoned, Myrcella poisoned, Tommen ending his own life, fulfilled this part of the vision. The most personal part of the prediction, directly about Cersei's passing, was that when your tears have drowned you, the Valonqar will wrap his hands around your pale white throat and squeeze the life from you. Valonqar means younger male sibling in High Valyrian. For years, this foretelling tormented Cersei. She believed the Valonqar was her junior brother, Tyrion Lannister. The TV program's version of the prediction, even without the clear Valonqar word, led many to think Jaime Lannister fulfilled it. He was Cersei's twin, yet born second. In her last seconds on screen, as the castle fell, Cersei cried with fear. Jaime clutched her close. Heavy stones descended and ended her life. Yet in the written works, the Valonqar remains a puzzle. Jaime is a good choice, but his story in the books moved him from Cersei. The bond between Cersei and Tyrion is far more damaged by this specific vision in the books. What the actress says. Lena Headey's perspective. Lena Headey played Cersei Lannister with a strong motherly nature and growing anger. She spoke frankly about her character's end. Her views give rare insight into an actor's bond with a role and her thoughts on big creative choices. She admitted she wanted a better death for Cersei. She wished for a more active, dramatic, and personal final scene for such a huge villain. She even dreamed up a famous Arya-Cersei clash with Maisie Williams, who played Arya Stark. Their shared idea was Arya using her Faceless Men training to sneak into the Red Keep, and then she would take Jaime's face to kill Cersei. But Lena Headey knew it was impossible to please every fan and expectation. She said, "No matter what they did, I think there was going to be some big come down from the climb." She saw that the show's scale and viewer investment meant any ending would face some criticism. She did say she was first gutted by the quick, simple death by falling debris. For a character who survived so much, manipulated others, and caused wide suffering, this passive end felt a bit anticlimactic to her. Yet after talking about the scene and its meaning with Nikolai Coster-Waldau, she began to grasp its purpose. She saw the meaning of Jaime and Cersei dying together, just as they entered the world together. A perfect end in its own sad way, maybe. Fan theories and alternative endings. The highly underwhelming conclusion to Cersei Lannister's life in Game of Thrones ignited a massive wave of fan theories. One of the most popular theories centered on the idea of Cersei becoming the Mad Queen. Cersei, upon realizing her defeat was certain, and that King's Landing was falling, would plunge into a destructive madness just like Daenerys Targaryen. In this scenario, Cersei would have ordered the city to be torched with the hidden wildfire she knew was stashed beneath its streets and buildings. All of this would then force Jaime Lannister to make an agonizing choice. Just as he famously killed King Aerys to prevent him from burning King's Landing during Robert's rebellion, Jaime would be compelled to kill Cersei to save the city and its innocent people. Some theories saw Cersei surviving the immediate siege of King's Landing, but facing a different form of punishment. Instead of death, she might have been stripped of all power, exiled to the corners of Westeros, or across the narrow sea to the free cities, forced to live a life without influence, luxury, or respect. Alternatively, she might have faced a formal public trial, not by combat, but by a council, where her crimes would be laid bare and she would be condemned to a life of imprisonment or even hard labor. Marvelous verdict. And that wraps up our video about Cersei Lannister. Well, I want to rewatch Game of Thrones again. Whether you prefer the show version demise or the book version, one thing is certain. Cersei is one of the best characters of all time. What do you believe should be her definitive end? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more such content. Until next time, stay safe out there in the Seven Kingdoms. Thanks everyone.